On the Media is all about print, broadcast, and the internet.
And civil liberties, we do a lot on that.
The show is about technological utopia and creepy dystopia.
Law and lawbreakers.
Blowhards and liars.
Mainly, though, On the Media is about an hour. Please spend it with us.
Saturday mornings at 7 on KSJE Farmington. Wednesday morning here on KSJE, and it is time to check in with Communications Professor Dr. Mike Hattabaugh, who is standing by in the Encouragement Lab. There he is. Dr. Hattabaugh, good morning.
Good morning, Scott. How are you?
I am well, thank you, and you are strategically located at least 6 feet away from me, which is good. So,
though on the screen that I'm looking at, we're not.
No.
We're only 4.5 inches away.
We're closer on the screen. That's true. But that's
we are
important
lots of
these
miles
days.
away from each other this way.
We really are. That's true. And so that's something that you wanted to talk about today, right? Was how to stay connected while still being apart, I guess, right?
Yeah, one of the things I'm starting to notice, and this is one of the big debates going on out there is the big question is the cure worse than the illness, right?
Right. We've heard that. Yes.
And yeah, I don't want to get into the politics of that, but one of the things I do know that's not the cure. The cure is not holding yourself up by yourself inside a room and having no human interaction. So I know you've already talked on your station about that this whole social distancing is not a good term. So let's start changing it.
Right. Yeah. Well, I think, be more specific. Physical distancing is probably a more accurate term than social distancing is what we were saying this yesterday morning. Yes.
Because you and I right now are not social distancing. People that listen to the radio are not social. We're having social interaction.
That's right.
And that's really, really important. And that's what I want to talk about is that that's the cure for a lot of the fear to me.
Okay. Gotcha. So, and I think a lot of folks who are watching us and listening to us at home, and maybe are isolated from their usual social networks or friends or family and things like that may feel a little alone in the world with all this stuff going on, right? So what can we say to them?
Well, and I've been out, I wrote a bit of a story about the fact that I've been in the grocery store early in the morning when the senior adults were there, and they've got fear in their eyes. So,
right.
When was the last time you checked on your neighbor that was maybe an elderly person? Because a lot of times their kids are hundreds, if not thousands. My parents live on the other side of the country, and I know a lot of people don't have anybody to check on them. So that might be somebody worth checking on in your life. Is going and knocking on their door and standing back 8-10 feet while they answer and just checking on you, anything you need.
Yeah.
And providing that. Those of us that are younger and don't have a lot of health problems, I think I'm in that category. I don't want to be too presumptuous about that.
Right.
But, we have the ability maybe to provide something for them that maybe they don't have access to and can avoid a lot of fear. So the cool thing is those of you that are fearful, if you're a little nervous about this, Will Smith talks about this at length. I love it. He tells a story about the first time he went skydiving, how afraid he was until he actually jumped out of the airplane.
Well,
and the fear was gone.
Right.
So the answer to your fear, if you're locked up and you're worried about all this, is do something. And if it's pick up the phone, I left my phone outside of the studio here where I'm recording today. But I was going to show you a phone and go, this thing, it actually makes phone calls.
What?
This thing we call a cell phone. You can actually pick it up and hit a number and talk to somebody. It's amazing.
Wow. Okay. Who knew?
And nothing transmits over those lines. That person can't get sick from that phone call. So we need to remember that. Learn how to make phone calls again, or like you and I are doing. If you're listening on the radio, you can't see this, but you and I are visually talking to each other, and you can do video calls. And that is, again, that's physically distancing, but not socially distancing. Because, man, do we need right now human interaction. That's really important.
Well, and I think you're exactly right, Dr. Hattabaugh. And I was just going to say, there's something about even just hearing someone else's voice, right, rather than just a text or an email back and forth, or seeing their picture or seeing the video as you chat and video like we are doing right now. There's something about that interaction that's much better than just that written communication in these days, correct?
One of the saddest stories I read today was about the fact that almost all the people that are dying from this virus are dying alone.
Oh.
Because nobody can go in and be with them.
Right.
So how many people right now don't have the virus but are home alone and don't have anybody to talk to? And so just if you told we've picked out a neighbor here in our community that's an elderly woman by herself, and we said, hey, we're going to come by and just check on you once every 3 or 4 days. And my wife and I will go for a walk. We stay away from everybody else.
Right.
We go, we knock on her door and say, hey, just checking in, how you doing? And just to make sure she's doing okay, because I don't think she has any close by family. And she really needs something, she'll tell us. But that's one of the things we're doing. And like I said, that gives us something on our calendar to go, okay, we got to remember to do that. We go for that walk again. So if you want to overcome your fear, pick up the phone and call somebody. But don't call them and say, well, it's okay to call somebody and say, I'm afraid. But if you really want to get rid of your fear, call somebody and say, hey, how are you doing? Mm-hmm. What can I help you with? And to me, that's the greatest antidote for all this is, are you helping somebody? I've done a lot of coaching and counseling over the years, my years as a pastor and as a college professor.
Right. Sure.
It's amazing how I never had anybody come in with a lot of fear that said, I'm just helping all these other people. That never happens. Now, I'm not downplaying people that come in with anxiety and fear. I'm just saying I never had anybody come to see me that was actually actively helping others. It was always they had let the focus turn on themselves, and they weren't doing that. So again, not downplaying real anxiety. It's real. Your anxiety is real if you're feeling it right now.
Right.
But I'm just telling you, for the vast majority of people, the quick solution is contact somebody and ask to help them. And when you help them, all of a sudden you'll defocus on yourself. And that a lot of times is what most counseling is just, who else can we think about in this process? And that's a very therapeutic thing to do. And I can, with 1,000% security, say that's really important. Now again, that's not saying that you don't need a counselor or medical help if you've got real diagnosed depression or anxiety. But I will tell you that even those folks, I will tell you that the greatest thing they can do is help others. So it doesn't matter where you are in the spectrum. If you're just nervous about this, getting out there and helping somebody will make a really, really positive difference.
That is good advice, Dr. Hattabaugh, these days. So thank you for that. Appreciate it very much.
Well, and listen to, listen to the radio. Just, I know you've got listeners right now hearing us. That's why it's on. It's like, you know what? If I don't listen, I'm too alone and I get inside my head. So good job, folks. Keep listening to KSJE, and we'll keep sending you some great information. And you don't want to listen to news all day long, but you want to listen enough to where you know what's going on, and then find stuff and people that keep you engaged.
That's true, and it's always good times to take a break from the news, too. From a news guy, that's saying a lot, so I agree with you. Dr. Hattabaugh, thank you. We'll see you again next week.
All right, we'll see you, Scott.
All right, that is Dr. Mike Hattabaugh. He is with me every Wednesday from the Encouragement Lab right here on KSJE, Farmington. KSJE is supported by San Juan Regional Medical Center, here for you, providing safe, quality care. Stay informed on the COVID-19 developments to protect yourself and your loved ones at sanjuanregional.com or the COVID-19 information line at 505-516-0938 or 888-949-5387. San Juan Regional Medical Center, caring for